Okay, after this video, I am going to take a break from making content for maybe like a whole day. Because when I don't post here, I'm always posting somewhere, either Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. But I really do need to focus my energies in other places. I need to exercise. I need to, look for grant opportunities. There are things that I need to do outside of creating content. But before I do that, I want to say this. We're taught that all of this is spiritual warfare. We're taught that we wrestle not against flesh, but against principles and principalities. If this is true, why do we only acknowledge half of our DNA, our forefathers? To give people who pray to the Father some credit, I do want to acknowledge that in Africa, parts of Africa, beings who are born with wombs with the XX chromosome are still referred to as he. The he pronoun is used to speak about women. In certain parts of the Caribbean, the he pronoun is still used to speak about women because at one time he was acknowledging all genders. But understanding that in American culture, a lot of this is suppressed. And so when we talk about he, we're specifically talking about the male side, the masculine side, our forefathers. And so it's imperative that if we have knowledge of that, that our prayer life and that our spirituality does something to combat that so that future generations don't fall into the deception of thinking that he simply is talking about the male aspect. This is why in Lalem Layler we intentionally say God, goddess, a man, a woman. We hybrid words together, brother, sister, brister, mama, daddy, mada. We intentionally do this because we're trying to repent for the missteps of our ancestors who allowed for the diminishment of the divine feminine aspects and the deeds and the works of our foremothers to be erased. That made it possible for queer people, intersexed people, trans people, and non-binary people to be exiled, demonized, and annihilated. That made it possible for women to be beheaded and burned at the stake for practicing religions that did not center a male deity. If this is about principles and principalities and this is not about flesh, how are we ever going to win the war if we're only acknowledging the half of ourselves that seems to be benefiting the most from this oppression? How are we going to combat those ancient relics that they're using in the Vatican that they stole from our foremothers when this was a matriarchal society? The best way to turn those instruments and those relics to the will of the people is for us to repent from the ways of our ancestors and begin to acknowledge everything that is within us, our divine mother, our divine father, wholeness. We need to connect more instead of becoming more divided. Just think about that. When we talk about repentance, we need to be talking about wholeness. We need to be talking about acknowledgement of everything that exists within us. Because heaven, the divine, it's all in us. Wholeness is within us. And we've got to stop separating ourselves from it by suppressing an important part of ourselves. It's a reason why we all start off as female in the womb. Anyway, I love y'all. Y'all have a beautiful day. Layla Nation, purple ones. Rise.